You know, the important part is all the people are gonna be so hungry. Why? Because they don't eat in the morning, they have no time. They have to get makeup, they have to go to the hairdresser, they have to fit into their skinny dresses. By the time comes 10 o'clock at night, there's no vegan or vegetarians. They all eat the chicken pot pie or the Wagyu steak. Right now we are just doing prep work here and everybody is getting ready. And at 9 o'clock, it's gonna start, and then you will see the rush here in the kitchen. It's like game time. All right, so this is our Miyazaki beef here. We're gonna sear it on the grill here, and then we put it in the oven when we need it. Everything is seared, but not cooked. We cook everything the last moment. So that way, you get the same food as we serve at Spargo or Cut or at the Bel Air. It's really the must-go party because it's the only place where you also can get good food. If you go to the Vanity Fair party and all these other parties, there's no food really. We have chefs from all of our restaurants. We have a chef from Dallas, we have chef from New York, we have chef from Spargo in Istanbul. I mean, Eric runs the whole show here. He is in charge of 200 chefs, so that way he makes me look good.
Then what's your job?
My job is just being here, being Wolfgang. How are my ham people here? How is the jamon? So we have two guys from Spain here who are cutting the Cinco Jota ham. They are really specialized, better than me. Though he cut his hand already, so we'll see. Maybe I have to jump in. How is the hand, okay? Not enough ham, you cut the hand too? Fuji-san. You're gonna marinate the fish a little bit?
Yeah. We did, yes.
I think you could use a little bit more ponzu on that. And this is Chef Fuji, who runs our restaurant in Dallas. And he always comes for the Oscars. Why? People love sushi and sashimi, and it's really great to have somebody who we can trust and who is here all the time. So in about an hour, we're gonna go down on the red carpet. There's more to running a restaurant or a catering business than cooking. It is also people have to know us. And we want to show to all the television stations which are lined up down there what we are serving tonight. And then maybe I get a drink downstairs at the bar with a few old friends like Chef Bezos and Bob Iger. I'm going to come back up here and we're going to slowly get ready. When I was young, the chef was not known. The chef was somewhere in the cellar, in the background. I still remember when I came to LA the first 30, 40 years ago. I went to a club and I danced with a girl and she asked me what I do. I said, I'm a cook. The song was over, she left me and I didn't even walk on her feet or anything. But I'm sure today it is different. How are the scallops, all right? Sushi rolls, you're ready? Tomorrow I'm going on a diet, okay? Tomorrow I'm going on a diet for sure. That's it. My pants are so tight. Oh my God! I thought they cleaned it in the dishwasher, but no. All right, I'm gonna go sit down, rest a little bit, and then we go.
Then we go. It's all about leadership. You give us directions, we follow through. Thank you.
We really start getting into action when they call out Best Director.
7:15, so we're going to say maybe around 8 o'clock it's going to be go time. Then it's going to get busy. It's going to get busy, it's going to get crazy, it's going to get fun. It'll be nice.
When they say the best movie and then they say thank you, the show is over, everybody wants to eat right away.
And the Oscar goes to?
Olivia Colman.
Wow.
It's 5 minutes before go time. I have all the chefs online right now. Everybody's getting antsy right now to get to go. But it's like a Super Bowl. We're ready to kick off.
I'm doing the truffle thing too.
Black truffles, buddy.
I'll be the most truffle-shaped person in the city tonight.
This is your favorite job every year, right? Shave 4 pounds of truffles.
Okay, everybody, listen up.
Don't it up this time. 25 years we did okay. Slowly, yeah. All right, everybody is ready? Yes. All right.
And the Oscar goes to
All right.
the
Let's fire the food now. All right. Yeah. All the appetizers. Let's start. Let's go. I want 100 right away. Let's push it. People are hungry. Okay, let's go. Let's get it out there. All right. You know where Barbara Streisand sits? No. Pot pie for Barbara Streisand, extra truffles.
Yes, chef.
She's with James Brolin, her husband. 23 years, she said. All right, too many people are waiting. Let's go. Let's pick up. Chicken, but you want another one? Well, we have a song, Be Happy. How are you? Ham for Jose. You eat it. You're
I
tasty.
like this one.
Tasty if it's good.
This one.
All right.
This is a good plate.
Yeah. And beautiful ham.
Look at now the Austrians know how to cut ham too.
Yeah. We don't need the Spaniards anymore.
Why?
You are fired. All right. All right, guys. Congratulations. Everybody was very happy out there. I saw a lot of people who were leaving and they all said the best ever. So now, all we have to do is do better next year. So it's very simple. Cheers. 25 years. How many more?
I don't know how many more.
I don't know. I think maybe 10. But you know, Byron sooner or later gonna take over. So I think in about 5 years, I'm gonna push him a little bit. So by 10 years, I'm gonna come as a guest. But I think I would be bored. You know, I think it's more excitement in the kitchen than actually coming for dinner and being a guest. Unless you win an award, unless you get something really special. If not, big deal. No lifetime achievement for me because I will get it when I'm dead.
Bonjour, je suis Jessica Pralpato, je suis la chef pâtissière du restaurant Alain Ducasse au Plaza Athénée et j'ai été élue meilleure chef pâtissier du monde 2019, sponsorisée par Sosa. Je pense d'abord à remercier ma famille, donc mes parents qui étaient quand même du métier, qui étaient pâtissiers. Et aussi je remercie forcément Alain Ducasse de m'avoir fait confiance il y a 4 ans, de m'avoir laissé les clés de la pâtisserie du restaurant et d'avoir eu cette vision qui est juste magnifique de la naturalité. La naturalité, pour moi, c'est vraiment mettre le produit en avant, le produit à la bonne saison, à la bonne température. Je décrirais mes desserts aujourd'hui comme un dressage très brut, pas forcément instagrammable comme on dit en ce moment, mais vraiment basé sur le produit et aussi sur une vraie histoire qui se crée quand on dessine le dessert ou quand on dresse le dessert dans l'assiette, où à chaque bouchée on essaye d'apporter quelque chose de différent.
Today we have a couple things. We have a couple big lunches. We have 2,000 people in 3 different locations. And we have to set up for tomorrow. We have a big group as well. We have close to 5,000 people, you know. Just for banquets, we're probably gonna send 10,000 pastries today. And banquet is one department. On daily basis, we have 29 departments to taking care of. You have many kitchens in the hotel, but there is only one pastry shop. You can go from a reception of 25,000 people. We can have like, we'll say 15 wedding cakes. Sometimes we have one order that is like 25, 30 of them on one day, you know. I want to be super busy. I like to be very active. I don't want to be bored, you know. Hi, morning. How are you? When you start in the day, what is funny is you never know what's going to happen. You know, there is always something. You never know. Chef Florent speaking. You have these banquet callers, and they have this company that want to have 10,000 macaroon with their logo on it. Okay, how do we make 10,000 macaroon with their logo on it? If the egg white are too cold, you're gonna create this bubble also.
Macarons are a very tricky thing. Not everybody can make them right, and he's very particular about it.
It's like a baby, you know? You have to know where to focus the most energy, where to focus a little bit less, you know, but still looking at some very important key point, you know? Gonna check the macaroon, I think they should be close. You see, I believe we have clock, you know? Because every time when I bake something, I can come usually 10, 20, 30 seconds before it rings, you know? Without knowing the time, you know? Managing a large team is a great learning experience because when you come from where I come from, your skills are based on what you do with the food, you know, not necessarily who you are as a manager. You know, we are not trained for that. We're trained to be as best as we can with our craft, you know. That's why we compete a lot. And when I came in America, in a big corporation, big hotel, and I realized that management was actually a job, I was shocked because for me, I didn't understand the purpose of it. I was like, if you're a good pastry chef, you're a good pastry chef, you know. You quickly realize that even in France, it's not necessarily the best pastry chef that has the biggest success. It's very often the best manager. Kayla, we're gonna do a quick meeting for the New Year's Eve. When we do those kind of event, you know, we always try to bring something very unique or very different. And this year, I don't know why, I decided it was the fidget spinner. I don't know why, like something clicked and that was the fidget, and that was it. The 2000 chocolate showpiece is, for example, now this year we're gonna use a fidget spinner. I saw my son, you know, playing with fidget one day. I was like, let's put a fidget spinner on the dessert, you know?
I'm gonna bet you $100 that he's gonna see them, and the first thing he's gonna ask me is, do they last 24 hours?
It's been good, huh? Let's put the stickers on it.
Sticker?
Yeah, what time is it?
Why do you wanna know the time?
Just want to see, you know, 123.
You wanna see what?
See how long they last.
24 hours, chef.
We'll see. I say okay when I see that they're gonna be 24 hours. I am a pastry addict. I'm working right now with everything we have to do, and the fact that I'm gonna represent the US for the World Cup, I have to work on an average of 18, 20 hours a day. And to be honest with you, I don't take that as a job, you know? It's not even a work for me. It's just something that I love so much, you know? What I love with chocolate is you can literally do anything, you know? You just need to be sometimes crazy enough to try things that doesn't really make sense, you know? So yes, right now I'm working on the World Chocolate Master, Chocolate World Cup, you know, to become the best pastry chef in the world. So on my free time, you know, after work.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, veuillez souhaiter la bienvenue à Florent Chavot, United States of America.
It's almost like Olympics, you know. It's almost like a professional athlete, you know, or something like that. You have to spend these 2 years working your butt off, you know. You work 18, 20 hours a day, you know. I haven't seen my family, my kids, my wife for more than probably an hour maximum. All of this work can be jeopardized by a lack of focus when you're gonna pack your equipment. So that's the boxes we're gonna use for the competition. So I want to avoid to take a big one, but we're gonna have to take a big one and probably 2 of the small ones. So yeah, every single step is really key, but the packing part is extremely important, you know. And it takes days and days. The World Chocolate Championship for me represents the closing one of the chapter I started 20 years ago when I set this goal, you know. I was really interested in mass production. We have 500 flan to do for tomorrow. You have to be a full-rounded professional. It's not only being the best on a few things that few people can eat, you know, but suddenly you can touch 5,000, 10,000, 25,000 people in one shot. But at the same time, I was also very interested about the very fine and delicate stuff that you can do when you do mass production. So I had to create my own bubble, you know. I had to create my own world in this bakery. I had to sometimes, you know, step away. So this is one of the pieces that I'm creating for the masters, you know. And close myself, you know, for 5 minutes. I focus on the product only.
I feel really good right now, excited to be here, finally after 2 years,
Welcome to the World Chocolate Masters 2018.
The process of the master take, it's really costly. It cost me quite a bit. Even the first prize doesn't cover anything. Like, it doesn't even cover the flight ticket, So financially, it's not the smartest move that you can do.
Yeah, so if everyone could just move out of the way, we're coming through, we're going round to the front, all the way round, and you're just going to place it on here.
If you're truly driven, by what you do, you want to challenge and see how far you can push,
Always tense.
I've never questioned myself what direction I want to take.
Time to announce the results of the top 10 finalists. Florent Chevaux.
When I was 15, when I started in this business, I thought I will maybe have a small bakery somewhere in France, because even the fact that speaking English was too much for me, And suddenly after 10 years or 15 or whatever, you turn around and you're like, oh wow, I'm actually able to do things, When you're running a 6,000 room in a hotel in Las Vegas and you're doing the World Chocolate Master, I think you have to be a little bit gone up there, Like you have to be a little bit crazy,
Every week, over 6,600 people vacation aboard the world's largest cruise ship. And all those people need to eat 3, 4, 8 times a day.
You have to calculate that it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, plus snacks, plus at night, plus all 24-hour food all around, and that never stops.
Ship kitchens run 24/7, manned by a culinary team of more than 1,000 people. They dish out over 30,000 meals every single day, and they do it all from compact kitchens on a rocking ship. So how does all this food make it to the plate? We'll start on the loading dock on a Saturday. This is turnaround day, when all new food is delivered to Deck 2.
This is basically a place that you would not like to be on turnaround day when we are loading. It's busy, super busy.
That's Jarrett. He orders food for the ship's 23 different restaurants. Every week, Jarrett's got a $1 million shopping budget. All of that is just for 7 days of food. Sometimes Jarrett will tweak his orders based on who's coming aboard. More kids means more chicken fingers.
That's how the operation runs. So we monitor it on a daily basis, what has been used, what has not been used, and then we adjust our orders accordingly. But by and large, being in Miami, having the same number of people, it's almost the same every cruise.
On turnaround day, 30 trucks arrive at Miami Port. They're carrying 500 pallets worth of inventory, and all that has to be loaded onto the ship by 4 p.m.
Any delay in our operation can hamper the sail away of the ship, which is again a big logistic requirement.
Over 600,000 pounds of food and drinks are provisioned for just 1 week of sailing. Once on board, everything is moved along the ship's secret highway. This is I-95, and it runs the entire length of the ship, on Deck 2.
We separate all the stores to the different locations that they are supposed to go. We have about 20 different storerooms divided into freezers, fridges, walk-in fridges, and dry stores.
Seafood, meat, vegetables, and fruit are all divided and stored in separate fridges.
If you come towards the end of the cruise, this box will be almost empty with a few fruits that are needed for 2 more days, which we keep as backup stock.
There are also 6 freezers. That's where the 700 pounds of ice cream that'll be eaten each week are stored. Dry goods are stored down on Deck 1.
Full of spices, full of chocolate in this storeroom. Coffee, it's nice to be in this storeroom.
An elevator gets the food downstairs. Jarrett's team checks all of the food for quality control every day. If produce is ripening faster than expected, they try to work it into another meal. For example, overripe broccoli could go into broccoli cheddar soup instead of being tossed. Once inventory is stored, restaurants on upper decks put in food orders with Jarrett. Chefs will come downstairs, pick up their order, and cart it away to be cooked. That's where this guy comes in.
Any food on board this beautiful ship, anything you eat, is my responsibility. Wherever you have beautiful potato fry, it's mine. Rice is mine. Pate is mine. Pastry is mine. Salad, shrimp, wherever you eat it, is my responsibility.
Rijo's team of 280 chefs run the kitchens 24/7. Each chef works 10 to 12-hour days. Contracts typically last 4 months without a single day off.
Some of the people start working for 8 o'clock in the morning, all the way to 2 o'clock, take a break, come back again 5 o'clock, finish by 9:30. Then other group start to working 10 o'clock in the night, all the way to 10 o'clock in the morning. So we cover day and night productions.
Chefs on board cook up nearly 100 different menus every week. All the menus are developed at Royal Caribbean's Miami headquarters. And every week, chefs stick to the same rotation of menus, cooking up everything from racks of lamb to hand-rolled sushi. The food has to be diverse to match Symphony of the Sea's international passengers, vacationing at all kinds of price points.
We try to please everybody and to make sure that everybody find what you're looking for.
All the cooking happens in 36 kitchens, or galleys as they're called on a ship. There are 12 specialty restaurants on board, costing up to $50 a person. And each of those restaurants has its own small galley. In those tight quarters, chefs crank out the same menu every day. At Jamie's Italian, it's fresh pasta. At Hooked, it's over 2,000 oysters, shucked per cruise. But the largest amount of food is reserved for the main dining room, which spans 3 decks and serves up to 6,000 people a night. Eating here is included in your ticket. Before food heads up to the main galleys, it starts in one of the prep kitchens, off I-95. There's a butcher shop.
Butcher, good morning. These are the gentlemen looking after all the meat cuts.
The butcher goes through about 15,000 pounds of beef and 9,700 pounds of chicken each week. There's also a veggie cutting room and a fish thawing box. Lobster is the most popular dish in main dining. The ship goes through about 2,100 pounds of lobster tails every week. Finally, the food heads upstairs to the main galley. The ship's biggest kitchen is broken down by categories: desserts, bread, cold food, and hot food. In dessert, chefs whip up cakes, chocolates, and 100 different types of pastries. Over in the bread bakery, they make 40 different kinds of bread from all over the world, all from scratch. But the real hustle comes just before the dinner rush. 6,000 hungry passengers in the main dining room. Remember Rijo? Before dinner prep starts, he has to approve all the dishes.
Good afternoon. How are you, Chef? Good.
Rijo tries each dish and gives his critiques.
We're gonna put a little bit more Pernod, a little bit more gale, a little bit more herbs. Very, very good. So this is what aioli. Aioli, we need to put a little bit more for today. Huh? You can see, Chef, how we look. Huh? Take a note, don't forget. That's what we're talking about. Beautiful, beautiful. We don't have any challenge, so we're ready to go. Chef, thank you so much, and thank you so much, and look forward to have a beautiful night tonight. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Chefs take his notes and get cooking. Chefs can see a tally of each dish ordered up on screens. The system also keeps track of how much inventory is used. In the cold room, salads and appetizers like carpaccio come together. In the hot room, chefs dish out soups, sauces, sides, and mains.
We have the 2 kinds of chefs. Chefs working here on the line, which is close to me, plating up, and chefs on the stove cooking. So everything we do is in batch cooking. So basically, we grill a steak there, we pass it over to the pass. The person on the pass is plating it up to the requested temperature. That means always that the guests are getting fresh food, and from an operational point, we don't have any overproduction.
Finally, waiters deliver those dishes to hungry passengers out in main dining. Between the chefs, inventory crew, waiters, and dishwashers, it takes a team of 1,085 people to keep this massive operation going. Together, they cook nearly 11 million meals each year, and they're doing it all on a moving ship.
The ship is rocking, then all the equipment is built to the ship rocking. Then in whatever moment, maybe the ship move, somebody don't put one brake in one trolley, and you see the trolley flying away. And happen. That's why all the cooks always be the attention with that.
But if crew members are doing their job right, passengers won't even know any of it's happening. They'll just get back to eating their 8th meal of the day.
My technique is simple. I use a silverware. And then I use a spoon. Live scallop. So they're all using the different professional knives, so you don't only need this. Yeah, I don't do this every day, but I really enjoy put my hands dirty once in a while, Just see, be in touch with the guys because they're really the backbone of the kitchen, the backbone of the restaurant. I believe Eddie is probably the fastest butcher in New York City. You know, black sea bass. I mean, I'm pretty good at filleting fish, but this is like beyond. I mean, look at this. There's no flesh left on the... He's going to do some tuna as well. We have some sea urchin arrive on it. Executive Chef Marc Lapico, who's been with us for 17 years from Canada. Canadians are okay. They're good with fish, you know, so here we are. This tuna comes from Hawaii every single day.
Look at that color.
Yeah.
Spectacular. A little bit leaner, and it works really well with one of our signature dishes, tuna noodles. They get cut in the style of udon noodle.
I think this preparation, we can never take it out of the menu. People come once a week, twice a week to eat that tuna noodles. You have to really have a good knife skill for this. I mean, they asked us a couple of times, and people have no idea when they start eating the noodles with the chopsticks. It's like, how do you do this? How you know? Eddie is the master. That's the mise en place. And then he goes upstairs. Thai chili, olive oil, salt. It's the most popular dish.
It is treasure. This is a good one. This is an exciting one.
I've been using uni since I'm in New York, since 1986. From Maine, sometimes from Japan. But we feel like the one from California are very sweet. You know? Wow. The purple one, they're the best one.
Yeah. Wow, look at that. We're so lucky, like out of the water from the other side of the country, and you know, this morning they're here. In an hour they're going to be on our menu.
Sometimes people have no idea what it takes to bring that little uni on a toast, you know, flying them in, open them up, the labor.
For us, product is key. Yeah, that's the number one thing. We've sold tens of thousands of cookbooks. No one's ever replicated this restaurant, and I think it's because of, you know, the sourcing of the product, and then we have a fabulous team. So winter's sometimes a little bit tricky. There's not a lot of great fresh product in the local vicinity, but the very good thing is it's truffle season. Right now we're gonna go through a shipment of black truffle. I mean, the aroma is spectacular. You know, you can see, check it.
Whoa!
This is one of those relationships that we really tried to cultivate. These guys know as soon as they clear customs, they come directly to us. That usually gives us a large lot to choose from.
Is that true or no?
It's true. Saving $5, $20, $100 a pound of all the places to nickel and dime, in my opinion, this isn't it. Same thing with caviar. So this is arguably my favorite part of the day, or at least checking in product, mostly because I love eating caviar. We open each of them, taste each of them. If you look at the caviar, you know, each of the beads is all individual. Wow. I mean, for me, this is an extraordinary lot. You know, I love the color, I love the beads, I love how clean the finish is. I think we're opening shortly, and again, they hit the mark. We're right there. Between the classic egg caviar and the egg toast, we go through quite a lot of caviar. That and JG has a tendency to sort of give it away. So this will cover us for the day. We got Joe Rhee, executive sous chef, is going to make one of our signature dishes. It's a toasted egg yolk layered between two pieces of house-made brioche that starts with the eggs, and these get tempered and then they get cooked for about an hour. You know, it's been described as like the world's greatest grilled cheese sandwich, which I think might be pretty fair, mostly because it gets a massive dollop of caviar on it. For a lot of our dishes, we're looking for precision. We get a lot of custom things made for us, including, you know, in this case, there's a ruler that has the precise measurements of the egg toast. All of our recipes are measured out to 1/10 of a gram. We want to make sure that if somebody loves the egg toast in New York, that when they get it in Tokyo or in Brazil, that, you know, they're going to have the same experience. So the look, the weight of it are extremely important to us. How many egg toasts do you think you've made?
I would say close to a million.
A million?
I cut every single bread. I cook every single eggs at the restaurant. It's all me. So if you see it, you know it is. It's me.
Each one of them is exactly perfect. So it's going to fit in the tray perfectly. And that's why we use the ruler. I love this.
Ideally, you want the butter to be as soft as possible so that when you fling it, it just lands.
You know, it's going to be like this perfect golden brick, and you know, the sunlight upstairs in the kitchen is like magical during the day. At the right angle, when the egg toast is on the plancha, it almost looks like the sun is glowing. I know that sounds a little dramatic, but honestly, it's pretty rad. See, now when you look at it and it's like that perfect brick, this is the reason for the ruler. You know, that is the precision.
Love the strays. This is like, you master that, huh?
Trying to shop.
When this is cooked, the brioche is golden. Little sea salt, herbs. Spoon of fresh caviar. And I think the texture of the crunchy, the creamy, hot, cold, salty. It's a 10. So we have about 40 restaurants around the world, but this is the flagship. Jean-Georges is the flagship. When I'm in New York, people see me every day here, at least 10 hours a day. So
Guab just came.
This restaurant is really the hub of the creativity. That's where we create all the recipes and then we export them around the world. I would never put a dish on the menu if I don't test it, or if I don't eat it from A to Z. So we think about what...
I was thinking smoking it whole.
Chef Greg Brennan is our culinary director who develops all the recipe for us. I mean, right now we're working on a squab dish. We don't have a sauce yet, we don't have a condiment yet, we don't have a vegetable yet. And that's where it starts. I like squab with some spices.
I think we should spice it now. Let it.
Okay.
Let it
rest.
15 minutes with seasoning.
All right.
With cardamom, yeah.
That's good.
What do you think, cardamom?
I like cardamom.
I'm going to go ahead and make a spice mix. And what I normally do in a process like this is I'll make it for 1. In this case, 4. If we like it, then we just scale up the recipe. But I weigh everything as we go, so I don't ever have to try to get back to something. What do you think?
Oh yeah.
Right?
So check this out. Greg made a spice and salt blend. I mean, it already smells good. Basically, we've got 4 of them because I think we're still negotiating how this whole dish is going to play out. We thought about frying one, sort of like a Chinese technique. We're going to roast one of them whole, and then I think we may break one of them down and broil it underneath the salamander. Definitely think that we're on the right track. Cure 20-30 minutes just to set it, and then smoke.
Our menu here changed about 6 months ago. We had a lot of vegetarian. I mean, 20% of our clientele, they ask for plant-based dishes and etc. So we decided to really go in that direction.
All the deliveries are starting to come in. We're working on a new dish, Caraflex cabbage.
Here we have your Caraflex and your celery root. This has started sprouting a little bit because it's just come out of the ground still.
That's awesome. The best of the vegetarian and vegan restaurants, they're not making like a fake version of a fish dish. You know, they're allowing the vegetable to sort of speak for itself. We break the cabbage down into quadrants, then we weigh it. It's important that the weight is the same for each of them so that the cooking time is accurate. Once the cabbage itself is entirely cooked, you can see it's almost translucent and super tender. Haley is going to pipe the celery root puree inside of it, and then after that we're going to sear it on the plancha. It's going to get glazed, and we finish it with shaved white truffle. It sounds a little wild, but I think, you know, somebody getting a wedge of cabbage in a restaurant like this, it's hard for them to sort of see the perceived value in it.
You have the truffle?
You know, the onus is on the restaurant to sort of make sure that people feel as though they've gotten value for their money, that they've, you know, seen some creativity.
So little chef challenge here with Greg and Mark. One's gonna be fried, one's gonna be roasted, one's gonna be broiled. So different flavor, different texture.
We didn't really think it was a competition, but okay. This one will take the longest. 12 minutes to cook and 3 to rest.
This is gonna be beautiful too. I mean, the other ones are cooked on the bone, so it's always more flavor from the bone. This is gonna be a little cleaner, but faster for service. So
when When you add a little bit of butter and you're getting ready to baste it, when it starts to get sudsy like that, it's like the perfect temperature. The milk solids haven't caramelized yet. You're still getting a little bit of that lactic flavor. I love this color, the sheen of it.
So we'll try the fried, the roasted, the broiled, see which one brings the most intensity, right?
Yeah, exactly what it is.
This is the fried?
Yeah.
Fried is super juicy, succulent.
Yeah.
This is the broiled. The smoke and the spice is perfect. I think both roasted on the bone are better. Yeah, flavor-wise. Juicy,
loving the smoke.
Yeah.
I think the roasted brings, because of the butter, it brings a little more.
I mean, the boiled is more practical for us, I think, because all the tastings we have is a 1, 1, 1, 1. But it's so much better on the bone.
I mean, that's the best part.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we can do it.
So what are we thinking with this? Turnip?
Turnip, kohlrabi, and then
whiskey.
Whiskey jus.
Whiskey with the roasted on the bone?
On the bone.
Good. So it's like 10 after 3 now, and I think we got line up in less than 2 hours. This was fun. I love it. I love that we've got like a direction to move on, but we really got to get ready for service now. So this is Baju. She is a chef de partie on the fish station, and one of her tasks is to make the buckwheat crepes that we're later going to wrap our langoustines in. So we start off with a little bit of an excess in the ladle and then dip off the rest. And the biggest reason for that is you want the crepe to be very, very thin. Once they came in, they were clean. We removed the claw and the head. That's something that we're going to use to make a broth. Just nice and crispy on the outside, and that's kind of what you're looking for. It's almost like a cast. So 5 p.m. cooks are, the whole crew is at family meal. Usually take this time, it's sort of like the last moment of the day before service starts, where we can really, break open every container, put a spoon into every sauce and make sure that all the mise en place is tight. If something's not right, now's the time that we're going to remake it. The last thing in the world we'd want is a customer to point out what we've done incorrectly. Are the chives cut properly? Is the dill hydrated? Is the caviar cold enough? Oftentimes this doubles as dinner. And then when that's done, we're open, we're in it, we're in service. So you got an uni mushroom mat-eye now. Hannah, you can fire the 3 toast. Window 3, Hannah, or more? At least 3. I need 3 toasts, but not before 3 minutes because the mushroom's not ready yet. Guys, pick up double crab. 6 p.m. We're sort of, things are ramping up right now. We're getting into the middle of dinner service, so it's starting to heat up a bit.
You should try.
We're busy to the point where there's going to be some action. We like it. It's like the best.
Behind you guys.
There's a tuna and double tatsoi leaving. I think after that, let's do. We need a crab, a trout, and we'll do a ravioli all together.
Merci, Papa. You picking up one risotto? Beautiful. Let's do everything. Voila.
Second course, 1 tuna, 1 tartare. We're going to finish with double squab, both regular.
One more so we can finish the table.
That's good. Felix, do me a favor though, just get the fingerprint right over there.
Yeah, right there on the side.
Thank you. Right there. Thank you.
I mean, that's a bomb, hein, le truffle on the uni.
That's magic for sure. All right, so now we're doing trout, a ravioli, and king crab.
Yeah. I need the food. I need to touch food every day. And even if Mark has it perfectly done, I still need to be involved and put my hands in it, some testing, some. I want to pick up at the same time. It's part of my DNA, you know.
basically everything that's between agriculture and nutrition. So agriculture is more how the product is grown, how it's raised, and nutrition is what happens after the food enters the body. Food science is in between. How does the product get from farm to table? I took classes like food chemistry, food micro, and I use all of that in my everyday life at Simmons. I'm able to, decide which ingredients will work in my product to help control microorganism growth. I know what's going to hold water best in my chicken products, and all of that comes from what I learned at the U of A. It's the perfect combination of letting you get to play with food, but also being very math and science driven. I came away with a sense of what I wanted to do when I grew up. It's always different every day, and that's my favorite thing about the job. I never wanted a desk job that was just sitting on my desk crunching numbers all day, and that's definitely not what I do. Sometimes I'm working in the kitchen, evaluating or making samples. Sometimes I'm out visiting a customer, and sometimes I'm at our production facilities watching something that I developed run at a large-scale plant. Getting to develop something and then being able to go see that in the market, like going to a restaurant and ordering chicken and say, hey, I developed that, I had a hand in developing this product and making this product come to where it is right now. Sometimes I work in a kitchen, sometimes I'm working at my desk. It's all a little bit different every day, and that's what food scientists do. I'm not a chef, I don't cook in the kitchen every day. I'm more experimenting with how the functional ingredients in my products are working with each other to make a better product for my customer. You can go into food science and come out with a food science degree and go into QA or chemistry, and it's a pre-professional degree, so you could even go to med school. It opens the door to a lot of different things.
I didn't want to open a restaurant. I don't like restaurants. I think restaurants are cold and robotic and they don't feel comfortable. And I wanted a place that feels like you're just in my house. So I designed it to feel like my house. I'm Flynn McGarry, and I'm the chef of Gem in New York. The restaurant is called Gem, which is my mom's name backwards. It was also her idea. I started by doing these dinners in my mom's house, so sort of an homage to what those dinners felt like and were, but also were sort of hidden behind these trees on the little street that like you would walk down, you could walk right by it and not even know we were here. I started cooking when I was 10. I think probably the first memory of cooking I actually have was, it was like Mother's Day. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna make like brunch for everyone. And I made like chicken salad or something. But I was like, I'm gonna like poach the chicken or do something different with it. And it felt very fancy at the time. But then I just sort of became obsessed with sort of the more kind of intricate and creative side of cooking. When I started cooking, my mom was like, okay, we'll go get you like a cookbook. She took me like Barnes & Noble or whatever, and I was 10, so I wanted the most expensive thing that was on the top shelf. So I got the French Laundry cookbook, and that just sort of like initially blew my mind as far as like what cooking was. So I found out about Alinea because he used to work at French Laundry, then I got that cookbook. And Love Madison Park, it was the same thing. The Love Madison Park sort of internship, I met them on their book signing tour. I was talking to them about how I had been sort of cooking some things from the book, and they're like, oh, do you have any photos of it? And I showed them a bunch of photos of the stuff that I had cooked. And it looked surprisingly like the book. They were like, if you ever want to come sort of hang out in the kitchen in New York, let us know. And then like a month later, I made my way here. I was free labor, so everyone was down to have it. I mean, the general thing with restaurants at that level is just the absurd attention to detail with everything that you learn. And that is something that I've kind of has stayed with me, of like everything I do in every regard is kind of thought all the way through. You're aware, yeah, nothing's gonna be perfect, but still having the strive for that helps you wake up way too early every day and go to bed way too late every day. The beet dish has been on the menu for like 3 years now. That's the only thing that won't leave. It was sort of inspired by this, one, a feeling that I hate beets, and two, this sort of want for giving someone the most savory, intense course on their menu is a vegetable. Trips a lot of people out intentionally. The best dishes are the ones that people are just like, I don't understand what that was, but it was delicious. I stopped going to school actually when I was like 15. I had a full-time job since I was 12. I've never really focused too much on like being like, I need to have like a normal teenage experience, because I'm just have literally never had no desire to do that. My investors and everyone would not be super happy if I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna take some time off the restaurant to like go play video games. Like the issues and stuff and qualms and stuff that I deal with are those of someone who is definitely not 19. I knew everyone was always gonna talk about my age, and like, do I love that? Not really, but it's something that I always knew I was gonna have to deal with if I wanted to do this. Being young definitely sort of helps you get a lot of opportunities, but then once you get those, people seem to have much higher expectations for what you can do than that of a normal person, regardless of their age. A big thing for me is sort of dealing with having to pull back from the actual cooking myself and focus more on the bigger picture. I'm a control freak in every regard. There's not a single thing in this restaurant that I will let go by without me looking at it. It's a blessing and a curse. We didn't want to compromise the experience and the overall vision that we have for your dinner by being cheap or not giving you the best quality of every ingredient and not being able to hire the right amount of staff so you feel comfortable. We also have a sense of humor about ourselves and understand what we do is very absurdist and over the top, so we like to also have fun. We spend literally 18 hours a day together, 6 days a week, so I have to like them. So I could not hire people that I don't like because I would just hate it. For so long, this has been the goal, and now that I've kind of reached this point, it's sort of the restaurant dictates what's next, and I'm just sort of along for the ride. I did go to Coachella a couple of years ago to cook, but was not a fan.